Drivers are stuck for hours overnight after snow in some parts of the UK causes disruption on the roads. Hundreds of schools across the UK have been closed today as heavy snow caused widespread disruption and misery for motorists. Drivers heading across the Pennines were stuck for up to 7 hours overnight after heavy snowfalls on the M62 motorway. At one point, there was a 17-mile congestion queue. Our North of England correspondent Danny Savage has the details.
It was a long night for hundreds of drivers on the M62. The snow started falling late in the evening and continued for hours.
We're at a standstill again, and this is what we're looking at the moment.
2 a.m. in the morning with no signs as to when we're actually going to get off here.
Police expressed frustration at drivers using the hard shoulder and lanes which were marked as closed.
I think people are actually getting a little bit impatient now and driving up here.
Mountain rescue teams ended up getting people to safety.
Getting from the car to the actual Jeep that they were in was just something that I've never even experienced before. You know, the force of the wind and the snow, I couldn't even breathe.
Other roads were blocked too. This was the main route between Harrogate and Skipton. Long before first light, clearance teams were out. This was unusually heavy snowfall. Until lunchtime, it was silent on the A66, still closed to all traffic over its highest stretch.
Can we get the Scotch Corner down here?
Scotch Corner's down that way, yes. What's coming at the gate?
Police were getting a little fed up at the growing queues.
You've come through all the signs saying it's closed already before you've got here, haven't you? It's about 10 foot wide, bright blue, 6 foot tall.
That's not that one.
Aye, the one says closed.
Eventually, it did reopen. Under blue skies, traffic once again was flowing freely east to west across England. Well over 1,000 schools in England and Wales were closed for the day. Last-minute childcare plans were rapidly put in place.
So my youngest has come to work with me to help me with housekeeping and reception and being a waiter and just a little bit of everything, as well as doing his homeschooling from the front desk.
For millions of people who woke up to a white landscape, shifting snow was the first challenge of the day.
It is pretty, isn't it? It's a lot of snowfall, causing a few problems for our staff getting in, as well as our guests getting home, so we're just doing what we can to help everyone get on their way.
Parts of North Wales saw heavy snowfall too, causing more disruption. And some schools in Northern Ireland took the decision not to open. Much of the snow did melt through the day. What's left behind will freeze hard as temperatures plunge overnight, leading to warnings of treacherous conditions continuing into the weekend. Danny Savage, BBC News.
There are more weather warnings for snow and ice across much of the UK tonight after blizzards caused chaos, stranding some drivers for hours. The M62 was badly hit overnight, with mountain rescue teams helping motorists stuck, and strong winds and heavy snow made driving treacherous. Many schools were shut for a second day in affected areas, and conditions are likely to get worse before the weather warms up next week. Here's our North of England reporter, Sangeeta Lal.
That's jackknife.
As the Arctic blast battered the country overnight, it came in too quick for motorists on the M62 to escape.
Can you honestly believe this?
14 centimetres of snow fell across West Yorkshire, but with strong winds too, drivers became stranded, some for 9 hours in freezing temperatures.
There must have been 20, 25 jackknife lorries just stranded all the way up the hill. So it was like you were having to do a bit of a helter-skelter just to get round them. There was abandoned vehicles, crashed vehicles, just really chaotic and quite scary, especially when you've had no sleep, you're desperate for the toilet and you haven't had a drink for 9 hours.
By sunrise, although cars were still grinding to a halt as the snow melted, other rescue teams could finally get on the move.
And as I came down from the actual drive here, my vehicle just started sliding and I lost control basically and just wedged on the actual curb.
Well, it's not just the main motorways where people are getting into difficulty, but the quieter roads too. And the RAC today are saying they're responding to about 12 breakdown calls every minute.
The difficult conditions also forced hundreds of schools to close, giving many a chance to enjoy the day. Harder though for rail passengers after operators cancelled services and closed stations because of heavy snowfall. There were reduced services at airports too, as runways had to be cleared. Disruption not just with transport, but overnight power lines in Northern Ireland buckled under heavy snow, leaving hundreds without electricity. And the snow sparked damage in Yorkshire too, with more than 20,000 homes left without power.
It's typical for snow and icy conditions to have a high level of faults on electricity networks and affecting more of our customers. So we weren't surprised. We were ready for this weather, and we've had a pretty good day of it. It's been really difficult conditions for our customers and for some of our teams this morning with all the road closures.
And the dangerous conditions are expected to last, with a yellow weather warning of ice now in place until tomorrow across Wales and much of the UK.